When you need to build up your team to handle the growing chaos at work, use Indeed Sponsored Jobs. It gives your job post the boost it needs to be seen and helps reach people with the right skills, certifications, and more. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. That's Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need a hiring hero? This is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs.
I like that one. Live from New York, the show, it's going through it. Trying to debut a segment. Look, you got to break a few eggs, okay?
That's what you've been saying for 6 years. You've been on the show for 6 years. At what point are we done experimenting and we're just doing a show?
Well, you can never step in the same river twice.
I will give you credit for it. He's wanted to do this for almost a year.
I wanted to do Take of the Day and score it. We did it one day.
It worked.
I was gone. You guys did it 2 more days without me, and then when I came back, you said it was over.
Oh, yeah.
Do it on the podcast. Take of the day. And what's right? Oh, it's me again.
It's just me talking.
Wow, 12-0. Poor DeMonzo. What the heck? All right, today, after a magical sophomore season, is Caleb the most clutch player in the entire league. Meanwhile, Sean McVay says Aaron Donald is thinking about a return, but the sneaky reason this might be bad for the Rams. And finally, the most motivational segment in all of sports, the Bud List. Looking forward to the Bud List today, alongside Chris
I'm
Broussard
always looking forward to it.
and Kevin Wilds. I'm always looking forward to it too.
Right before.
Also, it's our last day before vacation.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Perfect motivation headed into vacation.
What I need, you're going to be on a sunny vacation. Mm-hmm. Don't get a first things first bucket hat. The ratings will tank.
Hubs is in Barbados, our producer. Mm-hmm. He bought a Barbados bucket hat and said Barbados 2030 World Cup and sent it to me. He did.
I like it. All right, we're starting.
They won't make the field.
No, man. Starting in the AFC East, the Athletics' Mike Jones highlighting overrated NFL teams in his latest article. Both the Patriots and the Bills make the list. For the Patriots, he notes a lack of a pass rush and a rough early schedule. 3 of the first 4 games are on the road. And for the Bills, he, like me, notes the growing pains of the new coaching staff. So who do you trust more this year, the Bills or the Patriots?
The Bills, and we let Kevin Wilds get away with something tricky yesterday.
What'd I do?
That when it happened, I was so confused by it that I had you say it again, and then I was still a little confused, so I let it go. Because last year, the Patriots won 13 games, the Bills won 12.
Yep.
They played each other twice, 1-1, and the final score of those games was 55-54.
Yep.
So they combined. Right. So they were pretty close, but the Patriots had the win edge. And we always bang on the Patriots for that soft schedule.
Yeah.
For the softest schedule the league has had by any team this century. And KW just slipped in there. It's like our Bills basically played the same schedule.
That's true.
Except for...
Yes, they did.
First place versus fourth.
Yeah, it was basically the same.
I'm just going to, again, they finished one game separate in the standings, and you're right, for 14 of the 17 games, they had the same schedule. Here were the 3 differences.
Yeah, let's see them.
When the Bills had the Philadelphia Eagles, the Patriots had the New York Giants. When the Bills had the Houston Texans, the Patriots had the Tennessee Titans.
Okay.
And when the Bills had the Kansas City Chiefs, the Patriots had the Las Vegas Raiders.
Okay.
Even if the Chiefs...
There's two games.
What do you mean?
The Chiefs is a huge difference.
I hate to say it, the Chiefs are not a huge difference.
Really?
The Raiders had the number one pick in the draft.
Mahomes?
We lost to the Raiders,
Was
first of all,
Mahomes
so throw that
healthy?
up. Yes, Mahomes
For that game?
Yes.
Yes, Mahomes was healthy.
There's no difference?
Mahomes had a losing record as a starter this year. I'm just saying there are 2 AFC West teams that did not make the playoffs.
Yes, that part they are similar, but to say there is no difference is disingenuous.
You got caught.
There's
2 buckets. There's teams that made the playoffs. You put Drake May into 2 buckets. He can beat winning. He can beat losing teams. Can't beat winning teams.
KW, that's fine. Then call. If you want to sit here on national TV and say the Chiefs and the Raiders are the same, you don't think the Texans and the Titans are.
No,
and you don't think the Eagles and the Giants are.
But when we played the Texans, we won. Yeah, and when Josh Allen played the Texans, he lost.
So the point that I am making is, I do think it is fair to say that last year when they were that close and, in my opinion, had that difference of that 3-game sample, that had you simply flipped the schedules, maybe the Patriots are 12-5 and the Bills are 13-4. Maybe it's worth a 1-game difference.
That's fair.
So then, like, it is not, I would, if we were making the case, who do you trust more, the Chiefs or the Broncos going into this year? I trust the Chiefs more. But that's an 8-game delta in wins. The Broncos won 14, the Chiefs won 6. You really have to chalk a lot of last year up to down year for the Chiefs, perfect year for Denver. Bills and Pats were much, much closer. So then, to me, the Bills, each of the last 6 years, have won 11 or more games and at least made the divisional round. Now that the Chiefs streak is over, they have the longest streak of seasons with a playoff win. They are, just to me, flatly, KW, more trustworthy than the New England Patriots. You could argue, depending on how you feel about the Chiefs and the Eagles this year, the Bills might be the most trustworthy team in the league as far as having a rock-solid season. Not necessarily to win the Super Bowl. They're not talking upside trustworthy. I think it's clearly Buffalo.
Do you want to go or do you want me to go?
I think I want to hear what you say.
Okay. Well, about you guys also do something tricky, so I built my own graphic to counteract something.
Okay.
It's the old Drake May against winning teams, Drake May against losing teams.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, you know what? Last year was a little bit funky because first of all, there was a lot of teams that were just bad, like really bad, so it kind of skewed the numbers. So this is every sort of star quarterback against winning teams and losing teams. Stafford was great against both squads. Drake May was 4-3, this includes the playoffs, and 13-1. So he really did not let any losing teams besides the first game against the Raiders eat him up. Trevor, 500, but was really good against losing teams. Josh Allen was below 500 against winning teams, which Drake May wasn't. And he went 10-2. He lost to the Falcons. Patriots didn't lose to the Falcons. He lost to the Dolphins. Patriots didn't lose to the Dolphins. Goff was really bad against losing teams. Lamar was terrible, and Mahomes was really bad.
Yeah.
So I just feel like, hey, he's 4-3. Look at all these drops. I feel like it is par for the course to not be great against winning teams.
I think it is. I agree with you that it is par for the course for your win percentage to look like this. If you're a great player, like Drake's did. If you're a great player where you kill the bad teams and you split with the other teams of your caliber.
We feast on a lot of bad teams.
It is the number of games against bad teams, and then it's the other thing that you couldn't show in that graphic. But
individual stats?
Yes, it is the basically perfect football from a passing perspective against the bad teams, and then below league average in every category against the winning teams. Now, again, everyone's numbers go down a bit when you play the best teams. That delta, I think, is what causes pause for people for a quarterback who doesn't have a track record.
I think that is pretty much fair. I would just swing a little bit more into the Patriots' direction when you're playing Seahawks, Broncos, and the Texans, which are, I think, 1, 2, and 4 in total defense. And I feel like people are like, that's just okay. They're just an okay
Not
team.
the greatest quarterbacks, but...
No, Drake May doesn't get to play the quarterbacks. Yeah. So that's my
okay, all right.
No, and then my final take. Sorry, I got to throw it off. I just don't. I think you can point at transactions that the Patriots made and be like, oh, they're better. A.J. Brown it helps. The first-round draft pick on the line helps. I think the continuity helps. I don't know if you can do that for the Bills.
Well, the Bills added
DJ
a wide
Moore
receiver too.
Helps.
Okay, so if
I think A.J. Brown's better than DJ Moore.
Yeah, that's all.
I agree with that.
I think you made a valiant effort.
Thank you.
That graphic.
I've got one more in the chamber, but it's not nice.
The graphic was nice. It's clearly the Bills. I'm sorry. It's not even close. Like, I agree with Nick. Like, if you might even agree with me on this. If we said one of these two teams is not making the playoffs, you're saying it's the Bills?
It's a great question.
There's no way I don't see the Bills making the playoffs.
You know what we believe in on this side of the table?
Due dates is one of them.
Due dates is correct.
It's their due to miss the playoffs. Lamar and Mahomes missed it last year. Okay.
Joe Burrow's missed the playoffs.
A lot. Joe's
He's
missed
due
it more
to
than
make
he's
the
made.
playoffs.
Oh yeah,
He's due to make
Matt
the
Stafford,
playoffs.
wins the Super Bowl, misses the playoffs.
He got hurt, but yeah.
Josh has been super steady, and I don't want to put injuries there, but he
got banged up at the end of the year though. He did have the broken foot or whatever it was, broken bone in the foot.
I don't want it to be an injury thing.
No,
but all the star quarterbacks have all missed the playoffs except him. So is he going to just be on this making the playoffs? I'm not talking about injury. I'm talking about you have a coaching turnover.
No,
we don't know if the defense is going to be good.
Okay.
I think
Patriots
that's all.
Jump you. You don't have a bunch of games, and all of a sudden you miss the wild card.
I think that's all fair. I think that even though I believe Drake May is going to be for the next decade, really, I believe for the next decade he's going to be, I'll be liberal with it, a top 6 quarterback in the league. Because there's a real argument over who the top 5 is. So I'll add a spot. I think that's the caliber of player he is. That's what I believe. But we don't yet know he's a star quarterback. I think he is. I believe he's going to be. But for the same reason that Brew's been saying, you're talking about these other star quarterbacks are due to miss the playoffs. There is a possibility that there was a 1-year perfect storm, I don't want to call him 1-year wonder, element to this. It's not what I think is the case, but when we're talking about what we trust and what is more likely to repeat, I am also very curious what the mean graphic is. I'm sure it's about Patrick.
No, that wasn't. Oh. That was just I didn't want to he's due to miss the playoffs. It just feels negative.
Oh.
But
Trevor also was great. Very, very good.
Top 9 MVP finish. Yeah. Well, won a great playoff
then 2
comeback.
Down years. So I'm
blue chip prospect.
I'm kind of with Nick in that I think Drake is a really good quarterback. But I can't off 1 year, I'm not ready to say
I think that's
he's
probably
arrived.
fair.
That's all I'm saying. Josh Allen's clearly arrived. And Nick mentioned 11 wins in the last
6 straight
6
years. It's 6 straight years and
only
a playoff
once
win.
11. 3 of those years they had 13 wins, and the other 2 they have 12.
It helps that you're beating up on the Patriots, though. Part of those 13 wins.
But this year they're both going to get, I think 2 of the 3 worst teams in the league are in your division, which is good for both you guys. I think the Dolphins are going to be the worst team in the league. I think the Jets likely are going to be a bottom 3 team as well. Can I ask you this before we move on?
Yeah.
Because I think, I might be wrong. I think this might be, at your most honest, how you feel.
Okay, here we go.
You trust the Bills more to not have a 7-win season. You would be more shocked by Bills going 7-10 than the Patriots going 7-10. And you also believe the Patriots have a better chance of winning the Super Bowl.
If one of the teams were to win only 7 games, like a healthy Josh Allen winning 7 games is hard to imagine.
Seems impossible.
But can the Bills win the Super Bowl? Oh, I've never seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
And I've seen the Patriots.
So by the way, I don't think maybe I'm trying to foist onto you what I might feel. I might feel like the Bills have a higher floor, but the Pats might have, because of the known quantity at the coaching staff, because there could be a jump from Drake, for all those reasons, the Pats might have the higher ceiling.
You know what? Remember how I debuted that new segment, the Men in Black Take?
Yeah.
Where if I'll say something and then you guys can never repeat it again? Yeah. I was looking at getting Patriots tickets. Me and the boys like to go up. We like to get a 1 o'clock game so I can watch the rest of the night and get back. I also like to get a little early in the year. So it's a little bit warmer. It's just kind of nicer. Can you put up the Patriots schedule if you have it there, Dust?
Who's ready to move on?
It's scary.
It's rough at first. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to the Seattle. And I went to the Steelers last year. I'm not going to Jacksonville. I'm not going to Buffalo. So I'm like, all right. And I don't want to see the Jets. I'm like, the Raiders game.
Mendoza.
Week 5. It'll be a nice win. It crossed my mind. Uh-oh. Are we 1-3 on that Raiders game?
Yeah.
Like we'll
certainly. I'm not saying it will be.
There'll be an intensity. Could there be an intensity to that game?
Yeah.
We're like, hold on, we have to win this game. Again, Men in Black take. Don't hold it against me.
Again, Vegas odds are just what they are. But you are underdogs in your 3 road games leading up to it.
Yeah, I don't think
those lines are set. Your underdogs in Seattle, Jacksonville, and Buffalo. Now those are that's the Super Bowl champion and 12 and 13 win teams from last year.
Yeah.
So there's no shame in that. The game that I think we should circle and maybe talk to Fox about, even though it doesn't appear to be on Fox, is Patriots at Bears.
Oh.
Patriots at Bears at Soldier Field. Field's pretty fun.
That's interesting. We've already gone in there. Drake's already gone in there and beat Caleb.
Oh, yeah.
We could do it again, I guess.
Sure.
You'll be 3-3.
3-3 would be good.
Yeah. Not for everybody. All right, Lamar Jackson starts training camp with new head coach
Look at that.
Jesse Minter and a new OC, Declan Doyle.
New helmets? Yeah, they did. Didn't they get new helmets?
Open the season September 13th.
I think it's the indoor lights.
It's the lighting. Usually we see them there out in like a pasture.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
They got a new facility.
Are you expecting Lamar to return to MVP form?
I would be stunned. Absolutely shell-shocked.
Shell-shocked.
If he's healthy for 17 games, and he is not playing at an elite level. I'm not going to predict where necessarily in the MVP.
Of course.
But if he doesn't play at an elite level, I will be shocked. He's 29 years old. Mm-hmm. All right? And last year, we know he was hurt. And here's why, because Nick, there was, when he started sitting out practices and stuff, you at least felt, and I think maybe some other people, is this contract related? Yeah. Well, the fact that he hasn't raised a stink about the contract in this offseason, I think proves that he really was hurt. Like whatever it was, he just was banged up.
Sure.
I don't think had anything to do with the contract. And so when I look at his first 3 games, he got hurt in game 4 against Kansas City. And Kansas City has been his kryptonite in some people's words, right? But the first 3 games of the season, against some pretty good defenses, not stellar, but Buffalo, Cleveland, and Detroit. Pretty good, solid defenses. This is what he did. I mean, he was on a tear. And then he got hurt, and then his numbers started getting shaken. Now, the team wasn't necessarily
Josh,
winning.
This is 3 games?
Yeah.
Just three games.
Yeah, but he's got a career-long
well, I'm just saying we're doing full screens for 3.
I mean, it'd be one thing if he had never been a great quarterback and it was like, oh, wow,
No.
the first 3 games of last year was awesome.
Just 12
He was great the year before, and then had some great seasons before that.
That puts the Trevor Lawrence graphic to shame.
You don't understand length.
6 games. Look at this 6-game sample I picked out.
It doesn't. Those are the 3 games last year. We know he was healthy. We know he was healthy those. And again, it'd be one thing if he was Jameis Winston or somebody who really hadn't had a great career.
Sure.
That was vintage Lamar is what those stats were. Yeah. So what I'm saying is when he got hurt, his numbers went down. And even so, over the last 3 games, his numbers went back up, skyrocketed. So, Nick, I think he's going to be great. He seems to be hitting it off with Declan Doyle, the new OC. I think he's revitalized and more excited about the new coaching regime.
I agree with
right?
that.
And so I would be totally shocked if he doesn't play.
So I do
football.
think on the health side, this has to be said. Over the last, I've shown a graphic. We don't have it today 100 times, but I think it's either the last 6 years, the last 5 years, whatever it is. He and Joe Burrow play the same number of games.
Yeah.
And we look at Burrow as this huge injury risk, and Lamar. So at some point it stops being about bad luck and more about, hey, it's the bonus if you play the full season. 3 of the last 5 years, he's missed a third of the season or a quarter of the season or more. That's a real sample. One of the reasons I looked askance at some of his missing time with injury was because his coach was looking askance at it. When they kept giving us quotes, if he's not back, what am I happy about after the bye? Get my quarterback back. Right. No, you don't. I'm surprised he's not playing. It wasn't just blind speculation there. There was something there. And what I read the contract thing, I guess, a little differently than you in this regard. If he doesn't get, and I think he still might, get a contract extension before the year starts, I'm very anxious if I'm a Ravens fan if he gets at all banged up. because the years prior when he was waiting on a contract, that was when he got banged up at the end of the year, and there was once again, oh, we'll have him back, and no, he's not back. And so I think Lamar, his history is, if the team has not given him, and I don't actually blame him for this, given him long-term financial security as far as contractual security. I know he's made a ton of money. He's not going to, on non-guaranteed money, play less than 100% or whatever less than the number is. Like, I think so that part would concern me as a Ravens fan. The other thing is, how old is 29 when you play like Lamar Jackson? That I think I just did a very basic, the quarterbacks with the most rushing yards in history, how old were they when they had their last great season? Vic, again, unique career because he had to go to prison. His last great year, he was 30. Cam's last great year, he was 28. Russell Wilson's last great year, he was 32, also greatly changed the way he played, like it feels like Lamar is trying to. Randall Cunningham is a weird one. His last great year was 29. He then went down, retired, came back as a Viking and had an MVP caliber year at age 35, but he was out of the league for a season. Steve Young is another weird one because he didn't become a starter till he was old, but he had 8 awesome years. He had 8 awesome years and then was out of the league because of concussions. Josh is 29. Josh is on that list. Josh, as you mentioned last year's first time we saw injuries creep into it, even though he played every game.
But do you think Lamar plays like Josh?
I don't
like
think
Lamar
he plays like
feels
Josh.
like he's like sliding more, and
the thing is about running quarterbacks. And you look at Lamar's injuries and even other quarterbacks' injuries, they happen typically in the pocket. And because when you're running, especially Lamar, now Josh Allen and Cam Newton are different. They run into tacklers. They run over tacklers. Lamar braces himself, slides, gets, when you're running, you actually can shift your weight so that, don't catch the brunt of the hit. So I actually think the way Lamar has run, like, I don't worry about that as far as his injuries. It's more in the pocket.
It's less about me saying he's going to get banged up on running plays and more about is the cumulative wear and tear of just that style of play, does it shorten your prime? And historically, the answer is yes. Historically,
I would
the answer
say
to that
none
question,
of those guys, other than Steve Young and Josh Allen, if he's in the conversation,
got to that
are
level.
on his level. And then Cam is the greatest example to me of a short. Vic, as great as he was not on Lamar's level. Yeah. Cam is the greatest example of a running quarterback having a shorter career, but he ran like a fullback.
And Cam was delivering blows like Josh is to a degree.
And he didn't pass it, even if you think Lamar's limited.
No,
Cam only had
one year that can measure up to 3 of Lamar's passing seasons. I agree with all that, which is, we've had this discussion a few times. I think the most likely outcome is Lamar has a very solid year, that the Ravens win 11 games, that Lamar is the 7th best quarterback in football.
You don't see him getting close to his MVP.
So that's
level.
I certainly think that's possible, but I think the opposite's more likely. I think if you're and I've said it, but I'll say it again. I think that the most likely outcome, really good year, team's good. But if that outcome's off the board and it's like it is either a year that follows last year's trajectory, a down year, or he is in week 14 in the MVP mix, top 3-ish, I think the bad year is more likely.
Wow.
I don't love their weapons. It's a question about the coach. I think there is real injury concern, and and this is where you and I disagree, I think that if he does not demonstrate early on in the season, I am still a devastating running threat, I think it drastically impacts his threat as a passer. I think teams will defend him differently, and I don't know that he has the wide receivers to really bail him out on that. And so that's my concern.
Lamar's record in September, 13-11. In October through January, 63-20. starts.
Yeah, he's been a slow starter.
Not for those 3 games though.
No.
Win them.
Well, they didn't win. No, that
didn't
goes
win,
into
but
13.
You don't
11.
put any stock
They were
in it.
1 and 2.
It was only
Just
3
3
I
games.
think
Just
they
12
were. I think
quarters
were
of
they
football.
0 and 3?
1 and 1.
Started
They
0
beat
and 2,
Cleveland.
1 and 2.
Oh, yeah.
1 and 2. 1 and
Yeah.
2. Wasn't his fault, though. I mean, the numbers.
Is Caleb the most clutch player in the NFL? That's next on First Things
This is
First.
going to be a great
The
time.
Fox Sports Channel, Sirius XM. Podcast, YouTube, everything digital. Hop on the old TikTok of First Things First. Rolling. Great numbers for our social media team. Shout out to you, Miles. Shout out to Gian and everyone that works
I was
on
doing this thing this week.
Yeah.
Amazing, like the YouTube numbers in particular. I was seeing a chart with like 100 million views in a certain time frame.
It's excellent.
It's worth more money than you think these days.
Head to Chicago. Kevin Fishbane and Dan Widerer of The Athletic talking about Caleb making the leap. Fishbane writing, how many quarterbacks in the league right now would you rather have with the ball in their hands in the final minute of a close game than Caleb Williams? It's not wrong. Stats bear it out. Caleb, including the season, in the first 3 quarters, he's okay. But in the fourth quarter, he's out here cooking. Looks like Caleb Williams. 14 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Passer rating still below 100, but it does pop up. And he had 6 game-winning scores in the final 2 minutes or overtime, some magic moments.
Yeah.
So the question, we'll ask that. How many quarterbacks would you want at the end of the game not named Caleb Williams?
1.
1?
Yeah, in this scenario, it's not fourth quarter overtime. It is exactly what the guy wrote. Final minute, close game. I assume that means trailing or tied. You know what I mean? Final minute, you got to make a play. Mahomes the only guy I'd rather have than him.
Holy cow.
I don't think he's the second best quarterback in football. I don't even actually know if I think, as much as I like him, if I think he's the best quarterback from his draft class because of how fond I am of Drake May, despite how unfond I am of Kevin Wildes. But in that scenario, I think he is scarier than any quarterback other than Patrick. He hasn't failed as much as other quarterbacks that I have seen, and now he hasn't had as many opportunities. And if I think of the 5 best plays from that type of scenario from all of last season, I mean, we're going to show 3 of them here.
So can I just play this out, Brew, for a quick second?
Yeah.
You're the head coach of a team, a new team. Kansas City, Nick writes.
I don't think I'd name him that, yeah. Was Bob Johnson did that with the Bobcats, Brew, back in the day? Yeah. Yeah.
And your football team is there, and you've got Caleb and all of a sudden Josh Allen in this scenario.
I don't think
like, Josh,
I
don't want to give you the ball.
I actually don't think Josh is great in this specific scenario.
Wow.
I have seen Josh.
He'll make a mistake.
He'll make big mistakes.
Make a great
I saw him last year against Philly miss a wide open guy to win the game. I've seen him consecutively in Kansas City in the playoffs be in this scenario and get 17 yards or get 0 points. I saw him last year in the playoffs in this scenario throw an interception in overtime. Josh is not my pick in this. Lamar feels very boom or bust in this spot, so he's not my pick. Stafford is, because of his age and lack of mobility, there is an element of Stafford of, if an offensive lineman gets beat, it's just over. Like he could do everything right and it's still cooked. So for me, in this specific question, he is my second draft pick to Patrick, and I don't think that's a crazy take.
I hate to pour water on the hot new thing theory or whatever. Okay. But I am the elder statesman of the show.
Yeah, that's true.
And I've been around the block a few times. It was 1 year of doing this. A year before that, wasn't it Jaden Daniels doing these late game heroics?
That was my answer. Here,
Go ahead.
Show the Jaden Daniels graphic, Dustin. I'll throw it back to you. And he was better at it.
Right.
So go ahead.
No, I mean there's that. I just would have to see this more. So I thought the same thing about Josh. Josh might be Superman, but he also might throw a crazy interception or a fumble or something. Obviously, Mahomes is out, definitely ahead of him. I would take Stafford. I get it with the mobility, but I'd take Stafford, the mind and stuff. And here are some possibilities I'd take. Jordan Love has had moments in big games. Bo Nix last year led the league in comeback, game-winning drives with 7. And then Baker, I would consider.
Baker's good.
I just want to see it a little more.
Baker is good at that.
I want to see it a little more.
Yeah, Baker's permanently in from that Rams game.
Yeah. I mean, if Caleb does the same thing this year, what's interesting is Bo Nix led the league in game-winning drives last year with 7. Caleb was second with 6. Guess who he was tied with? Bryce Young. And then Trevor was next with 5. So my point is these inconsistent young quarterbacks who didn't play great during the first 3 quarters and then come on at the end.
No, that's fair, but the thing
I just haven't seen enough to say this is who he's going to be throughout his career as far as the late game.
I get that, and the Jaden thing, the reason I think I'm less moved by that than you guys is always in sports, if one guy has, both guys have done it once, but one guy did it most recently.
But it's 1 year.
No, I understand, but it's 1 year for Jaden as well, is my point.
No, but I'm saying it's not
it's
like
a 1 year difference.
Right.
No, I get that, but I'm saying so I'm not as moved by the Jaden thing because Caleb, to me, did the gap is in, because on those numbers, touchdown interception ratio, it goes in Caleb's favor. The yards per attempt were identical. The gap is in the completion percentage, which is why the passer rating gap's there, which is fine. But the effectiveness was the same. So to me, tie goes to the guy who just did it rather than the guy coming off an injury. The reason I was surprised you wanted this in the show, KW, and I want you to go, was because I thought this was the one thing that you actually loved about Caleb.
Yeah, there's magic and it's great watching. At the same time, when their season switched, really, Jaden and Caleb was based on the Hail Mary.
Yes.
Right.
Is it reasonable analysis to be like, a little bit of this is luck?
Of course.
The Hail Mary, a little bit of this was. A little bit of it is good fortune.
Yeah.
And that can just flop back at any time.
Right.
Where Mahomes, I don't think is. I think with luck he's superseded luck.
But so who?
And Josh Allen has superseded luck just from the.
I don't think Josh has been good at this.
Just because of the last game, the tush push gone wrong?
No. I mean, what do you mean the tush push gone wrong?
When they were driving down the field and he.
No, it's 3. He has been presented with this exact scenario in 3 consecutive years in the playoffs. His teams have gotten 0 total points. It's not like he has come through a little bit. They've gotten 0 total points. We have seen I remember Josh Allen being in this scenario, actually the opposite. They were trailing in the final minute against the Vikings, and he fumbled the snap, and the Vikings ended up winning. Last year against the Eagles, they go for 2, down 13-12. He misses wide open, whoever number 10 was on the team. You guys know how good I think Josh Allen is. Josh Allen is not one of my. I think he is, in a lot of ways, his resume is kind of opposite of Caleb. He's really good the first 3.5 quarters, and he's not in this scenario that much. But in this scenario, I don't love him.
And the thing about Caleb is he doesn't throw interception. Now, I know he did last year against Green Bay at the end of the game, but in general, he doesn't throw a lot of picks. That's a difference between him and Josh.
Kind of a big deal. You ended your whole season on that.
It's how Jordan Love ended the year
against
before.
Green Bay. No, I know. I'm just saying, he's not a high interception guy.
And it wasn't against Green Bay, right? They beat Green Bay. It was against the Rams.
No. Oh, was it the Rams?
In the playoff game.
Right,
it was against the Rams in the playoff game. But do you have are you saying you'd take Jaden over him in this spot?
No, but I think that nobody would mention Jaden, and I think that's just because Jaden has fallen off of the zeitgeist of great fourth quarter comebacks just because it's been a year that he was.
It was a year he was hurting the team. I think it's less. The magic stuff with Caleb feels a little more sustainable because it's why he was the number 1 pick. It's why he was the number 1 player. He has been this, oh my God, like Coach Mangini, who is not wowed by much of anything. When he was talking about Caleb coming into the pros, talked about how much he loved the fact that he could make plays no one else could make.
Backyard.
And so I understand that is a a hard thing to build the plane out of, so to speak.
Yeah.
But this isn't talking about building the plane out of it. And I do think a lot of these scenarios, the part of the NFL games that is most like backyard football is 2-minute drill trailing. You know what I mean? Got to figure it out. A negative play is not as damaging because we have to get positive plays, so throw caution to the wind. I just think he's spectacular.
Yeah, I mean, he's earned the right. I'd be interested to see if that's a sustainable.
Yeah,
I think they hope to be in far less of those scenarios.
That'll be interesting, too. Head to San Francisco, Matt Barrows of The Athletic writing, 2 Purdy themes to follow this season, how quickly he can build a rapport with his new wide receivers, Mike Evans. Just old veteran.
Yeah.
Throw it up there, he'll grab
favorite
it.
play.
Oh, yeah. And whether he can reduce his interception rate, your expectations for Purdy this year, bro?
I think he's going to have a very strong season. I think he's going to have a Pro Bowl caliber season. Like
legit Pro Bowl?
Old school Pro Bowl.
Legit
Like
Pro Bowl.
named on the initial ballot.
And you got Stafford. The NFC is full of quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I'm just saying whether he makes it legitimately, he'll be have that caliber of season. The receiving core, look, last year, these are his numbers, and it was, I guess, a so-so season for him last year, but these are his ranks. I mean, he's top 10 in basically everything. And that was with Jawan Jennings as his number 1 receiver. Now you got Mike Evans. Christian Kirk I like as a number 2. And Ricky Pearsall could be the number 2 if he stays healthy. So I actually think they have a good receiving core. And so I expect he does throw interceptions.
Yeah. How many games did he play last year?
9.
9. Yeah. Played half the games.
Don't stop. No, because let me address this.
You're just
it's one thing if a guy doesn't have a track record. Am I wrong, Nick? If a guy, are you going to tell me?
It's back-to-back
hold
screens.
Let me ask
look
you
at
this.
part of the year.
if Tyrese Maxey next year gets hurt, but and then he's about to come back after being out for 2 months, and I show what's he going to look like when he gets back? And I show a graphic, the first 5 games of the season before he got hurt, he averaged 27 and 7. Yeah. I think he's going to be good. Would you say it's freaking 5 games, or would you say, that's what Tyrese Maxey does?
I would say that's what Tyrese Maxey does.
But you can't say that about Brock Purdy or Lamar Jackson?
Listen.
I know you want to be cute and all that and make things. I'm just saying, this is not the lane.
I think it's looking at a truncated season when you didn't play opponents that maybe weighed other teams down.
Hold on, you're just trying to fight the Drake May proxy war here.
No, I'm not.
You're not?
No, I swear no. But I think putting up a quarter, like look at his ranks through 9 games versus another quarterback who played 17 games.
So how about we just look at his ranks or his numbers compared to the other quarterback for the Niners? So this is why I think, Brew, he's going to be solid, because you're just going to be solid playing for the Niners.
I mean, not everybody's been solid.
It was 8 years ago, Brew, and the guys.
There's a lot of those guys.
There's again.
Who was it? Mullins? Nick Mullins?
If you are a top 40 quarterback in the world and you get dropped, I'm saying that for Mac Jones. I'm not saying that for Brock. But I'm saying Beathard and Mullins were not that. And you get dropped into this offense, the floor is super, super high. But for the second consecutive year, you like the weapons more than me. Last year, I was hearing,
like those weapons?
Last year, you liked Jawan Jennings going into the year.
As a number 3 receiver.
Last year, you said all Ricky Pearsall has to do is not get shot Pro Bowler.
Pearsall is good. Pearsall was hurt again last year.
Yeah,
that's his problem. He gets hurt all the time.
Mike Evans will be good.
I mean, we think.
What do you mean maybe?
I mean, Mike Evans is an injury risk.
He's
an old and injured.
He's what, 32, 33?
I think he actually got hurt twice because the year before last, remember, he had to come back at the end. They did all that fancy stuff to get him to the 1,000 yards.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's old. He's an old player.
Yeah.
And Kittle is coming off a devastating injury. My biggest concern for Purdy, I have 2 major concerns for the Niners. One is I think it's the least talent they've had defensively in a long time, and Salah's not there to work his magic. I think that's a concern. The other one is I have always believed, and it's been the subject of a lot of consternation on this show, that the number one reason for the Niners' offensive success is the coach, and over the last few years, the number two reason is Christian McCaffrey, far before we get to whomever is playing quarterback. They pressed the McCaffrey button so much last year, that worries me. And last year, you even saw it, Brew, impacting his per attempt numbers. Yards per carry or yards per reception, but they just kept mashing that button. And I wonder for him, does that have a knock-on effect this year? Because I think he is what unlocks that offense, particularly with Kittle coming off such a bad injury, even if he thinks he's ahead of schedule.
Well, they need to stay healthy.
But I just don't think Purdy Brew will ever have bad numbers.
Training, McCaffrey looks like he's ready for another.
Yeah, remember he's going like that.
This episode is brought to you by Accenture. When your advertising operations fall out of sync, everything else follows. Spotify and Accenture are working together to reinvent the rhythm of ad sales, using automation, analytics, and smarter workflows to simplify campaign delivery and access better data across the business. The result? Less time spent on operations, more time connecting brands with the moments and fandoms that matter most. Learn more at accenture.com/Spotify.
Albert Breer writing about the mounting pressure on Joe Burrow, and then Burrow's putting mounting pressure on the Bengals themselves. Breer writing, if you listened close enough to Burrow this offseason, you heard the attendant urgency in his voice. He knows chances at a championship aren't endless. What would another year missing the playoffs mean for Burrow?
Well, look, I think we all have to admit it. A big part of this is how would it look and why would they miss the playoffs? Like, if he misses significant time again, like, say, half the season. Last year he played, 9 games, 10 games?
That's bad for him.
Right. So if he misses half the season because of injury and they thus miss the playoffs, I think, one, we're just going to have to be like, he's injury prone. Or his career is not going to be what it could have been because of injuries. And I wonder, I would hope it wouldn't be the case, but I would wonder, would he contemplate retirement? Because remember that there was thought about that last year. Secondly, if he plays 17 games and looks great, as he did 2 years ago, and the defense just stinks and they miss the playoffs, you're just like, hey, he's still a great top 5 quarterback, but the defense is horrible. And then you wonder, should he ask out? I think there'd be a drumbeat for maybe he needs to leave.
He would lose top 5 quarterback status for me.
If he did what he did 2 years ago in 2024, leads the league in yards, passing, touchdowns.
While I am not a quarterback wins guy, I am a top 5 quarterbacks don't go a half decade without playing a playoff game guy. But
a lot of that would have been injured. A few of those years, few of them would have been.
Well, no, I really think to me it would be just last year would be injury because the first year that he got hurt, they were a 500 team with him. Jake Browning was and then the year
if he threw 40 plus touchdowns,
I didn't say he's bad.
But he can't be a top 5 quarterback.
I just don't know the instances of. I'll have to check, my Football Reference of guys that were just locked in to the top 5 because they're an MVP. Okay, well he isn't. Because they've won a Super Bowl. Okay, well he hasn't. Because prior to this drought, they always made the playoffs. No, he's done it twice. At some point.
Well, I don't know if we always were rankings weren't like when Matthew Stafford. I know he wasn't a top 5 He wasn't viewed as top 5, but obviously McVay loved him. Yeah. Had faith in him. A lot of people loved him.
I think that's kind of my point. If they missed the playoffs this year, I'm totally fine with looking at him the way people looked at Stafford in Detroit. Wow, it's a super talented guy. That's really, but
he would have gotten a team to a Super Bowl.
Yes, that's. But go ahead. Sorry, I interrupted.
Well, no, I was just saying. I think the third instance was
if he doesn't play well.
If he doesn't play well, then I think we just have to say the injuries and the hits have taken their toll, and maybe he's no longer an elite quarterback.
Crystal ball.
Crystal ball. New segment.
New segment.
You are dying for a new segment.
Dust, mark this. Save it for the archive so we can play it. What's today's date? July 23rd, 2026. I want to be the first to report. The head coach of the 2027 Cincinnati Bengals, Nick Sirianni.
Nick Sirianni?
Double take.
That's a double take.
It's a double take. It's that Sirianni's not back in Philadelphia next year because Brew's going to be right about the Cowboys and the Eagles are not going to stand for that. And that the Bengals, because what I know if they miss the playoffs is they're firing Zach Taylor. That button has to be pushed. And the Bengals are the type of franchise, I believe, that would be like, doesn't want to roll the dice with a first-time head coach again. The guys won a Super Bowl. I think if Sirianni were available, he wouldn't necessarily have 100% of teams that have openings would be like, we want to get in that business. But do you guys agree? Has that been
connected at all?
No, I just didn't. I just my crystal ball.
He played college football in Ohio.
I did not know that. I just didn't.
Check that, Josh. Mount Union, Division III.
It definitely was Mount Union. I don't know where that is.
Yeah, it's in Ohio.
Oh, okay. You would know. You're the Ohio guy. You guys agree if they miss the playoffs, they have to fire the coach?
Yeah, probably.
They should.
I mean, if you miss the playoffs, like, listen, Drew Brees went 9-7 3 straight years, or was it 7-9? 7-9 3 straight years. Missed playoffs 3 straight years, and then had 5 straight years of legitimate contention. They made the playoffs, whatever, and then it was over for him. Like, you can't, because I do think Burrow is certainly one of the 5 most talented quarterbacks in the league, and to me, he's one of the scarier quarterbacks in the league. You can't go through the guy's, what half the guy's prime and not play in a playoff game. It's unacceptable. Like, that has to fall on the head coach.
It'll be a very interesting season for Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
It's some interesting press conferences.
Yeah.
Maybe Joe Burrow should be on the Bud list.
Wow. Late addition to the Bud list.
Maybe a late change.
Coming up, the most motivational segment in all of sports, the Bud list. And a nice letter. Live from New York, the show that's out on ChatGPT.
You're a Claude guy now?
Nah, not in on Claude. I actually...
What?
I was using ChatGPT.
You use it all the time.
Well, I use it to, you know what it's good at? Travel planning.
No, that's the whole point of life, man.
What are you talking about? To find
Exploring.
hotels? No, I need to find a hotel from in between point A and point B. I'm going to drop my kids off. You in ChatGPT, bro?
No, Brew's not into ChatGPT.
A little bit. Not
for travel,
like I need to be.
Second hour, first things first. It's our last show before we go on vacation. Where am I going to be? I don't know.
Wherever the robots send you. I hope they send you to a haunted hotel.
That would be great. Up for some adventure? Who's next on the top 100? Or who should be, at least?
Yeah.
I thought it was revealed in batches. Dusty ripped us on the meeting.
Yeah.
I thought his tone was wild.
Dusty was,
He crushed us.
Yeah, he was a little.
It was bad. Yeah. I felt bad. Meanwhile, hurt my feelings. Meanwhile, fresh edition of Hey, what's going on?
Not a fresh edition.
New edition.
The world premiere.
World premiere edition of Hey.
The pilot episode, as some would say.
Well, that's good because then
it can get canceled.
No.
Like, pilots get canceled all the time.
Can't cancel a pilot.
No, things don't get picked up.
Doesn't get picked up.
Doesn't get picked up.
Yeah, no. But right now, of course, it's time for the most motivational segment in all of sports. Also time where we read viewer mail. Oftentimes, I'm going straight to the post office, talking to the Postmaster General. Not today. I looked on the old internet and found a real comment, Brew, that I think would warm your heart.
Real?
Mm-hmm.
They're all real, bro.
Believe it or not, I talked to Ramsey, and this gentleman is making his second appearance on the Bud list.
Really?
Yeah.
That makes it seem like we don't have a lot of comments.
Right, we get a ton of comments.
I don't
or just he's got hits.
Okay.
Buff Librarian. Do you remember the Buff Librarian?
I do, of course.
The Buff Librarian? I don't remember.
Yeah, he works in the library.
That's a cool name.
He works out.
Yeah, that's a cool name.
Here was his quote, Brew. You're inspiring people. I'm putting you, reading this now, on the Bud list. Whatever you're setting out to achieve, go get it done. I believe in you. It had 300 thumbs ups. But you know the internet can be a nasty place. Not everyone liked it. Got the first comment, I don't like this.
They love it.
He loved it. So I do. The Bud list really out here inspiring the audience as well, bro.
If I may say also, that is the exact mentality and personality I want my librarian to have. Buff or not. That is that.
I believe in. Yeah.
Whatever you're trying to do today,
yes.
I believe in you. Go do it.
Yes.
Let me help you with this card catalog.
Spotter at the gym. You ever go to the gym?
Maybe he's both. He's buff. Maybe a side job. I don't know how much librarian pays. Maybe it's
You've been at the gym bench pressing and somebody random person comes up and spots you. You like that?
No, no, I think that's a foul. You can ask someone.
Yeah, but you don't want somebody just rolling up.
No, you can't do the roll up on somebody.
What happened to you a few months ago at the gym when the bar gets you and you're there?
Did that happen to you?
No, of course not.
Was I not supposed to talk about it?
No, that hasn't happened to me since I was a little kid.
You had a lot of heat up there.
No.
You had a lot of weight.
I would always ask someone, safety first. But I don't need that. Fine, maybe I don't push myself. All right, time for the bud list.
All right, here we go. Justin Herbert at number 3.
Your guy. Bruce guy.
Well, everybody loves you. Everybody loves Justin. All right, that's really what is happening. The players put out their little top 100.
Everybody loves Raymond?
They put out their little player rankings, and they're going to name you a top 10 quarterback.
Obviously.
Right?
Yeah.
Jeremy Fowler talked to coaches and executives, talent evaluators around the league. They had you as a top 7 quarterback, 7th best to be exact. Last year, Nick, he even got a lone MVP vote, despite a mediocre season statistics.
Not like showing up on someone's ballot. He got a first place
legitimate vote. All right?
There's only 50 of them. He got one of them.
Yeah, and this is all despite the fact that you have been an abysmal playoff quarterback. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's been rough, all right? You're 0-3 in the postseason. Not all your fault, but 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 64 passer rating. But still, people love you. And I got to admit, as these two can attest, I'm in that group.
Yeah.
I like you a lot. And I am expecting magic this season. All right? Maybe I think too highly of Mike McDaniel. I don't know. But I'm expecting him to work magic with you, Justin. But here's the thing. If he doesn't, if you don't return to the form you showed your first 3 years in the league, because, Nick, first 3 years in the league, Justin Herbert was fantastic.
He's not in the playoffs, yeah.
Last 3 years, these past 3 years, you have not been there. You've been okay. And then you've been terrible in the postseason. So I'm expecting, the pressure is on. This is why you're on the bud list, because I'm expecting you to have a great year, and you better have a great year. Justin Herbert, I believe in you.
All this Mike McDaniel belief is a not so subtle Tua diss.
I totally agree.
Tua had a great year.
But that's the point. You think Mike McDaniel is a miracle worker based on the fact that, look at what Tua did with him.
I mean, they scored 70.
Yeah.
70. All right, anyway, Aaron Donald, number 2.
Wow.
It's tough, and I hope this isn't taken the wrong way. It's tough when you retire prematurely.
Interesting.
And Aaron Donald retired at just 32 years old. Had only played 10 seasons. So he had, it's possible the body just needed a rest, but he probably could have kept playing. And so now he's got this tough decision to make. He still was a first-team All-Pro when he retired.
These highlights are insane.
That year. Yeah. And so now he's got this tough decision to make because he did walk away early. And he still obviously has that football bug, that itch that wants to be scratched. And so it's a tough decision because, Aaron, I imagine you want to come back playing at a certain level. Like Nick's talking about these highlights. That's what you want to do. You don't – look, if you're not first-team All-Pro caliber, nobody's going to, say anything about that. That's not really expected. But you definitely want to be starting caliber.
Oh, yeah.
You want to be still very good and disruptive on that front line. So I like the way you're approaching this. You guys know he's at their facility. He's got pads on. He's going.
I'm out. I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
He's got pads on?
He's at the facility. He's been in pads and going through drill, not with players like hitting, but he's going through conditioning. He's going through other types of drills with the pads on to see where he's at.
At some point, that becomes salary cap circumvention. He's not on the roster.
No,
You're only allowed 90 guys.
Maybe they're his own pads. I don't know, but he
can just show up.
That Schefter, the report, he goes there, he's in his pads, and he's just going through the workouts to see where he's at and how he feels, which I like. I think that's the right approach.
This is fascinating. I didn't know he had pads on.
Yeah. Schefter reported it, like I said. Anyway, here's my 2 cents, Aaron. If you do come back, I don't know how y'all feel about this. Come back for training camp. Come back for the whole season. I'm not into the half season, quarter season, showing up in December. Let me play 3 regular season games and then the playoffs. It's not technically, I guess, cheat. I just don't like it. It feels like cheating to me. Like if you're legitimately hurt, that's one thing. But if you sit out most of the season and then come back at a certain point, play a few games, and now you're in the playoffs.
So, if you want to see a guy perform, you want to see the full season.
I just think.
I'm asking him to clarify. I'm asking him to clarify, not just like.
That's a different segment.
Go ahead, bro.
So, Aaron, I believe in you, and whatever you do, I'll support. But I think you should come back for the whole season, if indeed you are coming back. At number 1. Speaking of comebacks, returns, LeBron James. All right, LeBron, you have a tough decision to make as well. No pun intended. No pun intended. Now, LeBron, you have obviously had a spectacular career. But you know what else, Nick, and I know you agree with this. LeBron you have managed your career. It's been spotless practice. I know he's polarizing and some people don't like him and all that, but he really has just managed his career. It's been pretty much pristine. People cannot like him if they want, but I'm just saying, every place you've gone, you've delivered a championship for every franchise you played for. Obviously, you have a lot of individual records. You set up some of your childhood, high school friends from Akron to be their business moguls themselves now, some of them. You've set all that up. You started school. You're a family man. Your family's doing well. Obviously, your son's in the NBA. No scandals, any of that. So you want this last chapter to match your career and be fitting for your career. And so it's a tough decision to make. You want your swan song to be up to par. So I say a few things keep in mind. Obviously, your family is going to be a big part of this decision. And here's the question. Winning a title or having fun, and I don't mean that in a flippant way, but having a really last year, 2, 3, whatever it is, enjoying them. Because the thing is, even despite your incredibly long career, when you retire, LeBron, I mean, you might challenge this, but you'll still be a young man. You will still, at 45, you still will be young. So you do want to get every last ounce out of this career in these last couple of years or year, whatever it is going to be. And so I think you just have to, do I really want to just try to win this championship? Or do I want to just be in a situation where I can just enjoy my last hurrah? And so that's what you got to think of. My suggestion
Hope you told the producer.
Is that you go back, and my desire, my hope is that you go back to our home area. Cleveland. That's right. But wherever you go, I'll support you. I believe in you, LeBron.
Let's see, Kate.
Good, it's going to work. The batteries are in.
Oh, that's a shame.
Time now for
I don't know why the button doesn't
Sports
like
Media Ombudsman.
Thank you, KW. Had some pretty impactful and positive sports media ombudsmen over the course of the World Cup.
Yeah.
This one not so positive, but hopefully impactful. And it might ruffle some feathers.
Oh, my.
The NBA media needs to turn up the heat a bit on Adam Silver.
Ooh.
Adam Silver started his tenure, and his original not only claim to fame, but moment that still stands out is months after he took over, you had an awful scandal involving Donald Sterling. And Adam Silver, despite the fact that he's a lawyer, took quick, decisive action and was almost universally applauded for it. And it said, lawsuits be damned, this guy's got to get out of the league, and I'll take the bullets if I need to. And he really set, I think, the tenor for his commissionership. I fear, because while I don't know Adam, I know enough people that do know Adam, and he's universally held in high regard, universally respected, that he has lost that path a tiny bit. In two separate things, but both of which, in a weird way, he could have learned from his own lessons from Sterling. The first one is, who's Kawhi play for? Is he suspended? Is his contract valid? Can the Raptors actually field a team this year? Where's Brandon Ingram supposed to live? Does Grady Dick need a work visa or not? We don't know any of these things because we are waiting on Wachtel and whomever that law firm is to come with their reading, and then there's going to be another reading of that, and then there's going to be an appeal, and then it's going to go to an arbitrator when, listen, I've read the relevant portions of the collective bargaining agreement. You have pretty wide-ranging powers to be like, you know what, more probable than not this happened. Here's my ruling on it. I understand not wanting to be rash. I understand not wanting to be flippant about it, but this has gone on too long, and at some point, it's up to Adam Silver to put an end to it. He has the authority to do it. So that's the decisive action. The other thing that seems to be happening is we might have let a fox into the hen house when it comes to the 30 owners in Tom Dundon in Portland. Now, early on, the story was, guy seems cheap. Yeah. There's nicer ways to say it, but guy seems cheap. Doesn't want to pay for late checkout for the assistant coaches, doesn't want to travel to G Leaguers, whatever it is. Some people you can make the argument, corporate bloat, he's cutting down. But then you hear more stories. It's like, well, they won a championship his way in Carolina. Yeah, and then of the 55 spots on the Stanley Cup, he put him and his family and his kids on 8 of them. That wasn't great. Then you all of a sudden hear, Story Brew wanted us to do a emergency episode of
Wild's overruled.
Hires a new head coach, non-guaranteed contract. Well, that's not a great precedent. Yesterday, what might be the most popular League Pass broadcast crew, Kevin Calabro and crew, they're gone. If Calabro said, and I don't want to misquote, but I think he said it was essentially, I'll paraphrase, an insulting offer to bring him back. Okay, so the guy's not spending a bunch of money. He bought the team, so be it. I guess he can decide how he wants to spend the money. But now, are we holding Portland hostage? Are we going to maybe move a team? Not because, like Oklahoma City, I didn't like when they moved the Sonics. Right. But at least it was businessmen from Oklahoma City bought the team to move the team there to their hometown. I didn't like it, but you kind of knew what was happening when it was happening. This guy's from Dallas. He's not moving the team to Dallas. He doesn't have it. There's not a specific place he wants to move the team. People talking about moving the team to my hometown, Kansas City. In theory, I'd like that, but it's not fair to Portland. It's just a negotiating ploy to try to get the city of Portland to pay for the stadium. I don't like that one bit. Pacific Northwest already doesn't have a team. If Seattle lost a team, you lose that team. To which I say, man, oh man, it is ultimately on a lot of people, more than one person wanted to buy the Blazers, or more than one bid. At the moment, it would appear one of the bigger, if not the biggest misstep of Adam Silver's tenure is letting this guy own a team. And I don't know how much he can put his finger on the scale, but he needs to put his finger on the scale to make sure the Portland Trail Blazers stay in Portland. It's the only pro sports team in that city. It is a diehard fan base. They've won a championship. They have a real history. Mm-hmm. And so I think everybody likes Adam Silver. And because of that, I think he is getting a touch too much of a free pass on what have been, I think, the two biggest potential demerits on his resume are happening right now in front of us.
No, I do know Adam. He is a nice guy, and you're right. I think that's why he's getting a little pass. He's had to follow who I think is the best the best commissioner in the 3 major sports in America, David Stern. But I agree with you, Nick. He's got to get these 2 situations underhand. And Portland, you cannot. I mean, that's terrible because that is darn near a flagship franchise. You know, it's the closest thing to being that without being it. Mm-hmm. But they did win the championship back in '77 with Bill Walton, and they have always been well run and mostly a good franchise and good team. So even to threaten those people with that, and look, they're still trying to get a team back to Seattle. They know even though Oklahoma City's been great as an NBA city, they understand how losing Seattle was a big loss.
Kansas City lost the Kings 6 months after I was born. You lose a team, you might never get it back.
Yeah.
Like it's tough.
You'd hate to see Portland be without a team. So I agree, he's got to get this under wraps.
I'm putting John Harbaugh on the bud list. He had not an introductory press conference, but on their opening day of training camp, he talked to the assembled team, got everybody fired up. Take a listen.
Standing up here in front of the New York Giants. The New York Giants. It's a New York Giants sitting in this room. The New York Giants. Wow, it's an honor. We've been working, haven't we? We've been working early and we were late getting ready for today. Today. Sitting in this chair, in this seat, getting to work, getting started, our beginning.
Some cushions. Arm rests. Rest your arms. We're not resting in the building. Got a head rest. It wasn't training camp. It was the off-season program, part of the documentary that the Giants are putting together.
The Giants put that out?
The Giants put that out.
That's a bad job.
So you didn't like that?
I did not like it.
Love it?
No, I didn't love it either. That being said, there's a long history of first forays into the social media world with coaches not going well.
Oh.
Here's a blast from the past. Nick Sirianni.
Oh.
The first part of being smart is knowing what to do. We're gonna have systems in place that are easier to learn. The parity is so tight in the NFL. You have one player that's just as good as this player, and one coach is going to call a good play, and this coach is going to call a good play. So what gives there? Fundamentals.
Hey, turns out, horrible press conference. Won a bunch of games, won a Super Bowl. 9-8, 14-3. It was a horrible press conference.
Yeah. You actually might have been nice in that.
Yeah,
in those
that was
clips.
bad.
Dusty edited it.
Oh, yeah.
He came into my shared office. He was like, I don't want to. I'm like, no, Dusty, it's a positive Sirianni. Yeah. He's like, dude, do you want to put the paper, rock, scissors thing in there? I said, no.
I was hoping.
No, it's the introduction. And of course, more recently, Liam Cohen. Take a listen.
Jacksonville, the community, Duval.
Bad press conference, great season. 6th in points, 9th in big plays, 10th in red zone touchdown. Defense was great too. They went 13-4. So John Harbaugh, a horrible social media clip there. Didn't get anyone fired up, but maybe it has
we know he's a good coach. And let me say something about
this.
He's
a great coach that was recently fired by your favorite team.
Yeah.
But maybe we're in for a surprise.
At first, when I first saw that clip, I felt as you did. And I think as Nick did, like, what? But the more I thought about it, I said, you know what he's doing? Because he keeps saying New York Giants, the New York Giants, the New York. He is getting most of those players, in fact, I'd say all of those players, none of them were playing on the Giants or maybe even in the league the last time the Giants were like a good team, a significant team.
Yeah, definitely.
And so it's possible they think they just play for this terrible franchise.
The problem is
he is letting them know you are the Giants.
Yeah, that didn't matter.
We are a legitimate football franchise. We have one chance. We stopped the Patriots from having an 18-0 season.
But it didn't.
That's what he's saying.
That was good, bro. But that's not.
Yeah, that's what he's trying to say. He just didn't deliver it well. And the other problem is the Sirianni and the Cohen thing were press conferences where It's going out live to the world. If you screw up, there's no taking it back. The Giants chose to release that. I'm not saying their social media director is a Joe Shane loyalist, but I'd check the emails.
Joe Shane is behind this.
Oh, coming up next, the debut.
What is this graphic?
What's going on? That's our new Hey, What's Going On graphic.
That? That's what Dusty was going over with you?
If you have to critique the graphic, say, hey, what's going on with Hey? You know, they say if you want to make an omelet, you got to break some eggs, so you got to try out some new segments in the summer. Here's the debut of a segment that defies expectations. You know, we come across some stories, obviously positive. We come across some other stories, obviously negative. We come across a lot of stories that we can't quite define, and for those stories, they fall into a new segment called Hey, what's going on? First story. Vikings starting camp with 2 QB1s, which means, bro, I don't have one QB1. Rappaport saying he expects the battle between Kyler and JJ to go right up to the start of the season? Huh? QB battle right up to the start of the season?
Go.
Hey! What's going on?
So I empathize with Kevin O'Connell on this because I think this is actually ultimately bad for the Vikings. Because I think Kevin O'Connell wants, I don't know if I have the right tone here. I'm just trying to get
We're all, you know what? We're all we're all stakeholders in this segment. It seems like you're a little down.
I'm not
It
down.
seems like you're like
I'm
too
not
much
down.
like,
I'm just,
well, this is bad. I mean, it's just two quarterbacks. No big deal, dude.
I think Kevin O'Connell is a complicated system. Kevin O'Connell also is of the belief if a quarterback figures out his system and gets on the same page with him, they have very high ceiling, at least in the regular season. He obviously thinks Kyler is the best option because Kyler almost assuredly is the best option, even if you're low on Kyler like me. So getting Kyler all the first-team reps is objectively what's best for the Vikings. Okay. But J.J. McCarthy was the 10th overall pick and has 10 career starts. And if you don't give him any first-team reps, you are flatly saying that was a wasted disaster of a pick. So you have to, in theory, let him.
That's what's going on?
Yes, I think he knows Kyler is Kyler's the starter. And this is something of a charade that he has to go through. But I think it's actually damaging that they're going through it. So that's what I think's going on.
That's pretty good.
Thanks.
That's pretty good.
That's interesting. Look, they haven't done a ton yet. They had the, mini camps and stuff.
Yeah.
But it would seem to say to me, Kyler hasn't looked as good or maybe picked up that offense as quickly as they expected. Because it seemed like when they signed Kyler, it was like he's going to be the starter. I mean, they didn't announce that, but you know what I mean? That was the general
It's clearly
feel.
the intention, yes.
Yeah, and so, again, it seems to say he hasn't impressed them as much as they expected. And so, Ian was just saying he expects it to go on for the entire training camp. I think if one of the guys emerges, if Kyler's way just playing lights out and better than JJ, I think he will be the guy. Or what would be best for them, I think you agree with this, would be if JJ played light. Now, that might be a huge if. But if he played lights out, took the job, that would be what would be best for them going forward.
Absolutely.
But, I expect Kyler to win the job. I think if they're both close, Nick, then you have to start Kyler. Because if he doesn't play well, you can go to JJ. If you start JJ and he doesn't play well and you go to Kyler, that essentially means JJ's done there, if not, I'm probably not in the whole league, but he'd be done there. So I think that's what's going on.
With the Browns last year, and I think the Steelers when it was Russ and Justin Fields, the coaching staff tried to keep everything close to the vest. Like, we're not naming quarterback. And then the reporters were like, well, this guy's getting all the QB1 snaps, and then the other guy comes in. And then they would ask about it, like, we haven't made a decision, and then the next day it would be the same scenario. Do you think we're actually just going to get reporting like, oh, no, Kyler's got all the first teams. He comes out on the field first, and then JJ.
I think they're going to alternate days.
Then that doesn't work.
And I think they are doing it in this is the old sunk cost fallacy thing I talk about a lot. I think they're doing it in service of we don't want to fully admit the McCarthy pick is bad, which if Kyler had,
GM, remember they.
I understand, but I gotta think Kevin O'Connell had a okay. You're not gonna draft a quarterback 10 overall that you're, you know what I mean, offensive guru coach isn't okay with.
They let Darnold go.
Yes, so I think they have a lot of organizational equity in J.J. McCarthy, but they're hedging their bet, but they're not going to give Kyler the best possible chance to succeed because I think he needs all the reps.
And that's what's going on. Tyreek Hill released episode 3 of his comeback documentary. It's on YouTube. It's called The Cheetah Runs Again. That's pretty good, jumping out of the blue like that. Now, Tyreek, it's reported, and this made headlines, he said he doesn't have power in his leg. And at the same time, he said the timeline is looking real good. Kevin Patra of NFL.com writing, whether or not the 32-year-old plays in 2026 remains to be seen, but it appears he's pushing for a comeback. Tyreek's comeback says no power, but he does look good, and he says the timeline's looking real good. Brew, hey, what's going on?
I think Tyreek running, a 4.1? Is that what he ran?
No. He ran 4.2.
4.2?
4.2.
I think his definition of power in his leg is different from ours.
I agree with that.
Because he probably is what he's running a 4.6 now. Right now. He'll get below that, I'm sure. But look, it might not be. He is an older receiver by receiver standards. It probably is best for him, and he may not see it this way, but if he sat out this season, just rehabbed, worked out, got himself in the best possible shape and that leg in the best shape, then I really do think he could come back next season and be a very productive season. But I don't think coming back and not being 100% is going to help him, extend his career. Don't you think a team would give him a shot if he sat out a year?
Yeah, I think.
And then came back.
Yes,
fully
but I
healthy?
just think the timeline of that, like if he ever wants, even on a 1-year deal, to make, more than a few $1 million, he would have to show he can play at some point this year, and then next year, sign 1 year, $10 million or something. If he waits this year, then next year he's on a minimum. Now we're talking about a really old player. I said 3 years ago on this show that I'm excited to see Tyreek Hill as a member of the Kansas City Chiefs in 2026. I am a little less excited now for on and off field reasons. However, I feel like we are right apace for that. I think a late season addition of Tyreek Hill as a,
DeAndre Hopkins that you did it with, right?
DeAndre was at least in the league. They traded something. Did they trade DeAndre or did he get cut? I don't remember. But yes, I think they traded a late round pick for DeAndre. But a late season addition where he obviously knows Bieniemy, knows Patrick. There would be no, especially because Bieniemy's back, there would be no missing a beat there. I don't know how good a average athletically Tyreek Hill is. You understand? There are plenty of receivers that can run a 4.6 and be awesome. Right. I just don't know that he's one of them. I'm not saying he's not, but I don't think he is. I think it would be surprising to me that if Tyreek Hill, if you remove what made him so special, if it's like, but watch my technique. Greg could tell me if I'm different or wrong about that. He did, and so it was all about his acceleration and just there was a point in time where he was, in my opinion, the single best athlete in the NFL. Mm-hmm. And that injury was not a typical knee injury. It was as catastrophic as it gets.
All right, what's going on? Well, let's check in on the Super Bowl silver medalist Christian Gonzalez. Had a great Super Bowl, but still no deal because Super Bowl gold medalist Devin Witherspoon. Both are repped by the same agency, and the Patriots might have to wait on the Seahawks to sign Witherspoon before they make a deal. And Witherspoon might get $32 million a year. That's what's going on.
Are you going to ask me?
What do you think's going on?
People changing the channel. Seeing what else is on.
What?
Hey, what's on? Let's see. Because the first things first, my otherwise finger on the pulse topical show is talking about roughly the
two great defensive players in one story.
The 49th best player in the league.
Well, okay, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what.
buddy.
I'll make a deal with you.
I mean,
we look at NFL top 100.
Listen,
see where he comes in.
if he has, I think they released 49 today. So if he's not on it yet, that's fine. 49. I can't believe you forced this into the show.
It's, hey, what's going on? I said we got to break a few eggs.
What's going on is nothing. It's a good but not franchise-changing player who is on the same timeline as most first-round picks that are good but not franchise-changing players.
That's what's going on.
Do you want to say? Brew doesn't have anything on this, I guarantee it.
Well, that's the premiere episode of Hey, What's Going On? Worked a little bit. It's a pilot episode.
You didn't have anything on Christian Gonzalez?
Yeah, we should sign him. $32 million deal, 4 years. Sign in to our social media. Talk to Miles directly or Gianna and see if you want to. What does he say on radio? Keep it or scrap it. You know what I'm saying? Pump it or bump it. Yeah, that's what it is. Bump it or bump it. What do they call it? They do it on Hot 97. Trash it or. Saturday night is baseball night on Fox. Ohtani. What did you see this highlight from Ohtani? And taking on Juan Soto in the Mets.
Really?
It's an odd play. I want you to take on.
Ohtani.
I was not.
We may have the Mariners.
He's the boat. He's never won a Cy Young, and he's only been the best hitter in baseball 3 of his 8 years, and he's the best player of all time.
He's got 4 MVPs.
I understand.
In 7 years.
NFL 100. We're
They
just focusing on
MVP in baseball. It's a little weird. They give 2 a year.
That's true.
I'm just saying, it's half an MVP.
We're focusing on the QBs. We started with Bryce Young at 98, and we counted down. Purdy, Baker, Jordan Love, Lamar came in at a controversial 69. Trevor, Bo Nix, Jalen Hurts. Now, Nick assumes that we have these 10 guys still to come.
And you guys agree with me?
I think we all.
We could have a wild card in there, an Aaron Rodgers legend pick.
No.
You never know.
Rodgers,
Those
Jaden,
10.
and Stroud would be the ones who, but there's no chance those guys.
Mac Jones, if we're just doing 8 games.
Go ahead.
Who's next? Who should be next? Who could be next?
Okay. It obviously isn't Mahomes, Allen, Stafford, Burrow.
Time.
Or I would say May.
I'm not. Okay.
Not obvious, but
there's one obvious.
Those
I'm not
guys, it's not. Okay. Then I don't. Well, I'm just gonna give my answer right now. Caleb. I don't see how you can put, obviously, the guys I mentioned. Drake May was second in MVP last year. It's based on last year, they tell us, right? I don't know how you put him ahead of Goff, Dak. When Dak's healthy, he lights it up every year. Darnold won the Super Bowl.
It's a voting quirk, but.
And right, okay, so maybe it. I guess.
This
I guess
should be,
it
or you think
possibly
will be?
Should.
I think it will, and it is should to me. So to me, it would come down between Caleb and Herbert, and I think it's possible I'm wrong, but I think they'll go Caleb next. And you're right. You are absolutely right. They don't know Darnold won the Super Bowl if they voted in December, so maybe it's Darnold, but I think it should be Caleb.
All right, so I think it. My should is someone I think it has no chance of being. I think it should be Herbert. I would
You don't
have.
think there's any chance that it's Herbert?
No, people love Herbert. I think Herbert deserves to be behind Hurts, Trevor, and Lamar.
Yeah.
For me, so I would have Herbert, around 12, 13. The lowest he can be is 10. I don't think he's going to be. I think the next one is going to be either Darnold or Dak. And Dak, because of being banged up last year, I think hurts him. But Darnold doesn't get the Super Bowl bump. Right. And so my guess is the next quarterback will be Darnold. I think that it is, I'll go a step further. I think it is going to go Darnold, then Caleb, then Dak, then Goff. And then it gets interesting.
So you got you think Herbert's going to be what? Was that
6.
top 6?
Yeah, yes, I do.
I mean, he was 7 with the
Lamar is so low, it almost feels like an error.
But it could, again, if you just say, giving them the benefit of the doubt, if it was, hey, he was injured or hurt.
But Burrow was also, I don't know what argument you're making that Burrow, for this list's parameters, what's the argument Lamar missed the playoffs, Joe Burrow missed the playoffs. Lamar was banged up, Joe Burrow was banged up. But their regular season, Joe Burrow went to a Super Bowl, Lamar's got 2. So I don't know why Lamar was penalized so heavily for having a down year and missing games, and Burrow wasn't, that we're going to still have Burrow as top 5. The Lamar thing almost feels like, I don't know,
Who do you think's going to be next? Or should be or will be?
If I use Lamar as the benchmark, it should be Burrow. We're penalizing guys who didn't play the full year. Dak played the full year, Goff played, everyone else had an MVP. Trevor's way too low as well. Trevor was in the MVP race. Trevor won a bunch of games. Trevor's raw numbers are fantastic. That they're not up with It's a very strange list.
It's not a good list.
I mean,
I'm just keeping
it's really
you
not.
got Lamar Jackson that low on quarterbacks, and it's not the only one, but I'm just saying it's not a great list.
It's like Mahomes is still on because he has the legacy.
We'll see how far Mahomes drops. That's the thing is, Mahomes could have gone 3-14 healthy last year. Nobody would think he shouldn't be in the top 18 quarterback with his resume. I think there's a limit to how far you can drop if you can drop off entirely.
11, 12, 13. So I guess the question boils down to this. I'm shocked that Lamar's resume didn't lock him into top 10. Because Mahomes' resume, as it should, locks him into a top 10 quarter. It's silly.
I think it's some of the voters some of these players feel the way as frustrating as it can be for you, the media and some coaches and scouts or whatever, which is when they are asked who the best quarterbacks are, what they are actually answering is who the best passers are. And I know Lamar has great passing numbers, but I'm saying he gets dinged for that in a way, like Justin Herbert gets bonus points on that, and Lamar, even if it's erroneous in people's eyes, gets dinged the way Hurts gets dinged, and that. I'm just telling you that's the only reading of it. That's the only. It's
like Caleb's like.
Well, we'll see where they fall. But people don't doubt Caleb as a passer.
How can you not? He has a.
I'm just telling you. You're trying to make me make a logical argument or something I'm not even agreeing with. What I'm saying is, people don't say, how does Caleb Williams throw the football? They don't say that about him. Maybe they should, but that's never been the knock on him. There's a knock on Jalen. At one point was a knock on Lamar. It's hard to shake.
You know what I thought was when I saw this list?
A great
what?
group. Hey, what's going on?
I mean,
Nick got it. You didn't. I put it on a platter for you. He got it.
Yeah.